All right, here we are. Not sure what I'm gonna call this series. Maybe I'll call it the Foreigner Diary. As I am a foreigner in Japan right now. Uh, the big reason I decided to start recording these kinds of reflection pieces, reflection talks, reflection dialogues, whatever you want to call it. Um, it's quite frankly because I have no one to talk to here. I feel like I have so many thoughts, but I have no one to really talk about them with. Part of me kind of feels like it's a little sad that I have to do this. Um, like here I am in Japan, I'm living quote unquote the dream, but I'm also sitting alone in my apartment at 11 p.m. Talking to myself because I don't know, I just feel like I have to. Yeah, I don't know. Recently I've been feeling like maybe I'm not built for Japan, and that's just by virtue of having worked in Japanese schools for a while, and guess Japanese schools are not exactly the best kind of reflection of all workplaces in Japan. But I don't know. I work with so many kids. I work with so many adults, teachers, um, and it feels like I try really hard to be genuine, both with kids and adults, and it never really seems to matter. I'm not saying I need like praise or tons of like, oh, you're so amazing, you're so wonderful, thanks for being you or anything, but I don't know. There's just a lot of warmth that I'm used to as someone from America that you don't really get back here. A lot of reciprocal warmth, I guess. I shouldn't really say that about all the kids. Some of the kids are really nice, they're really sweet, they're really cute. They're like, "Oh, I love when you come to our class and you just talk about dumb shit for 15 minutes, That's great." It really is the only thing recently that kind of makes me feel like, I'm doing something worthwhile. And I just came back to Japan after being in America for like a year and finally back, excited to be back. And I don't know, the experience here where I am right now just is so different from my experience when I was in Japan about a year and a half ago. It feels like nothing I do matters. I don't know. I feel like I put a lot of effort in. I try to be very authentic but professional. And I don't know. I just feel so alone despite the fact that I interact with so many people every day. And I obviously don't want to push myself onto anyone as far as like, oh, let's be friends, But I don't know. I feel like a common thing people say is like, oh, you'll always be the foreigner. And it's like, that's kind of a given. I don't think I didn't know that coming here. I feel like I'm in a really weird gray space, actually. Um, I speak high level Japanese. I'm an Asian American. A lot of Japanese people ask me if I'm Japanese, if I have Japanese roots. And so I'm in this weird gray space of I'm a foreigner, but at the same time, a lot of people kind of push expectations onto me, or they assume that I know a lot of things, even though I don't know a lot of things. And it just makes it very hard to feel like I am existing correctly because no one will teach me. Because as far as like failing things goes, like I'm okay with making mistakes and failing and learning from them, but like in the context of a Japanese workplace where everyone watches me do something wrong, but nobody is going to tell me why it's wrong or that it is wrong. I just have to figure it out by myself and look like an idiot for months on end until I'm like, oh, This is why everyone's been looking at me weird. It's like I just wish people helped me out a little bit more, maybe. Um, I try to read the air as much as I can, but I'm not Japanese, despite what my squinty eyes and Japanese speaking ability may indicate to a Japanese person. I won't go into the specifics of the incident I had at work recently, but I had an incident where a number of teachers that I work with very closely um, kind of just stared me down. And I thought we were getting along great. And maybe it was just some sort of miscommunication, but yeah, they just talked about me in the staff room. And I heard my name. And then I looked up and I saw them staring at me. And they just all stared at me in silence. And like I'm just darting my eyes back and forth between all of them. And I asked them, I'm like, "Hey, are we good? Is something wrong?" And they don't say anything. They just keep staring at me in silence together. And eventually, I just sheepishly shake my head. Okay, yeah, it's okay, I guess. And I just go back to working on my computer. And then they all leave the room together. Um, it really shook me. It really made me feel like I was doing something wrong by just existing. And maybe there's a more practical reason for it. Maybe I did something stupid. Maybe I did something weird and they were just talking about it and they realized that I could hear them, I could understand them, and so they were like, "Oh, he heard us talking about him. What do we do?" And it was awkward maybe. But I don't know. Is there ever any reason where you and four other people just stare at the foreigner in silence for 15 seconds. And then when he asks if there's something wrong or if you need something, you just continue staring at him for another 15 seconds in silence? I feel like that's like, regardless of culture, surely there's some level of like, oh, that was not cool, you know? I don't know. It made me feel like there's not really anything I can do to be accepted, especially as someone who is coming from this gray area of not fully foreigner by Japanese standards, but also not Japanese by Japanese standards. I don't know, man. I feel like maybe part of the issue is that I don't have a lot of connections here. And so I feel maybe more emotional dependence on those coworkers that I work with. Maybe if I had more people, I wouldn't care so much about what they think or if they stared at me in silence for 20 seconds in silence. But at the same time, so many people are weird here, foreigners. Like, I hate being like, I'm the only good foreigner. I'm the only good type of foreigner here. I hate being that guy, but so many people here are weird. You have people that are just like super jaded about Japan and they're like, yeah, Japan is the worst. Japan is freaking awful. The system is awful. They hate foreigners. It's like, why are you here? And then there are people like complete opposite side of the spectrum where they're just constantly looking at Japan through rose tinted glasses, and it's just a different kind of exhausting to be around them. Then you have people who have never had to fight for anything in their life, and then they're just feeling like, oh, this is so racist. This is so evil of Japan. I can't believe that Japanese people aren't building their lives around me and my convenience. And it's just Jesus Christ, man. It's just so crazy that people think like that. Just earlier today, actually, I tried going to a Japanese class, not for the purpose of studying per se. I was more so to meet people. And then when I got there and the people talked to me, they were just like, "Oh, your Japanese is so good. I don't think we can help you." And I was like, "What? What do you mean?" Like I have textbooks. Like these are the textbooks I'm using. We can just talk about it together. And they're like, no, we don't really have enough teachers. We can't really help you." because we have to help all these other people first that can't really speak Japanese. I was like, oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. So what should I do? And then she's like, oh, just study your textbook. I was like, oh, I came out all the way here, like an hour away, to meet people and to talk to people, but you just want me to study my textbook like I always do at home anyway. Okay, all right, and that's what I did. Um, Fucking sucked. It was awful. It made me feel like, oh, even when I go out of my way to try and meet people, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. The few good friends and connections I do have in Japan, they're pretty far away, or at least they're not easy to meet up with. And so I'm just in this not super inaka, but relatively inaka place, just alone. Man, it sucks. Oh my god. It's such a weird feeling because when I'm back in America, I freaking hate it. I hate being home. I hate being around my family. I hate all the traditions and nonsense that my family tries to force on me. But sometimes, man, sometimes I just wish I had someone that was on a similar wavelength to me. Recently, I've begun to think too that maybe I'm the problem. Um, just by virtue of the overwhelming amount of like evidence, or I guess not necessarily evidence, but like the fact that it's so hard for me to find people I vibe with is like maybe I'm just a stuck up prick. And I feel like I've had enough experiences with making friends that I've reached the point where it's like, yeah, if we don't vibe, I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna pretend that I like you. I'm just gonna not hang out with you because I don't like you and I don't want to waste my energy trying to pretend that I do. And I don't know. I feel like that makes me sad to an extent. Like maybe if I was just more tolerant of people that are extremely jaded about Japan, or if I was more tolerant about people that have never dealt with reality and only see what they want to see, maybe I would have more friends, quote unquote. I don't know. And then I think about it, it's like, oh, well, of course I don't want that. I don't know. It just sucks. It just sucks. Another thing too is that I'm broke. Jesus, dude. Salary is so fucking bad. I'm already a pretty frugal person. I don't really spend a lot on myself. And even that being the case, it's still very like Jesus Christ, man. I always have to remind myself that coming here, working here, living here, it was my dream. This is what I wanted, This is the life that I've decided that I want to live. And it just sucks sometimes, at least right now, for the foreseeable future that it's gonna keep on sucking for a while. I think back to the days when I was in college and I was studying biochemistry, not because I wanted to, but because that's what everyone said I should do, something science related, STEM related. And then I was so smart and everything, of course, as they always say. And then just hating it, hating it, hating it, and then finding Japanese as a optional course, falling in love with that, feeling inspired passion about something for the first time in my life, and really choosing that as what I wanted. Those are the kinds of memories that I have to remind myself of when I feel like nothing is going good. Before I came back to Japan, uh, this past spring, my Asian grandma, tiger grandma, was very unsupportive. She told me how much I'm gonna regret going to Japan, how much I'm going to just waste my time and do nothing and regret it and come back to the US with nothing. really stands out of my mind. I really want to prove her wrong. I want to show her that I don't need to be a doctor. I don't need money to be happy. That I can choose this path that I've chosen and be happy with it. But man, recently those words sting. They really hurt and they make me feel like maybe she's right. Maybe this is all just me chasing a dream that isn't going to amount to much. I don't know. I know that's kind of depressing and I know I should just make the most of it, do what I can. I had a call recently with my parents. Um, we have a complicated relationship. Recently, in recent years, I should say, I shouldn't even say that. Recently, relatively recently, they've got things have gotten better, and I remember I was telling my mom that oh yeah, like I have some plans. I'm gonna go to this Japanese class, maybe meet some people. Um, I'm trying to join some sports clubs and meet some people there, maybe. And she was like, "Oh, that's good. You know, I really don't want you to be lonely." Man, I am really lonely. And you know, when she said that, I I almost started tearing up on the phone right there cuz I really am lonely. It's crazy how isolated I can feel when I have so many students I talk to every day and so many teachers I teach with every day. But none of it feels real. I guess at least on the coworker side, you know, feels like I don't know. That's just how Japan is, you know? You're at work, you are there to work. That's how it is. But I don't feel like I'm ever uh, viewed as anything but just the guy who comes to do English sometimes, you know? Not even the foreigner because, you know, I'm an Asian American. I'm not the cool foreigner in my workplace. I'm Asian American guy that looks ambiguously Japanese, can speak Japanese, and on paper is from America. You know, kids don't get excited about that. Teachers don't really get excited about that. When my mom asked about that, I told her I wasn't lonely, and that's mostly because I want my parents to think that I'm doing okay, that I'm doing well in Japan alone, and that you know my decision is not one to be ashamed of, and that this is, you know, the right decision for me. But sometimes, at least recently, I don't know if it is. But if it's not, I don't know what else I have. My Japanese language ability is, quite frankly, the only thing I have that makes me me, I guess, in a certain sense, like in the professional world, right? Being a native speaker of English in Japan with high level Japanese is all I've got. And if I can't make it work here, then where, what am I gonna do? You know, it's times like these that I really think that it's a it's a privilege to be able to suffer in a way that I've chosen to. Not everyone has a choice to be somewhere they've dreamed of going, that they worked so hard to go. Some people work hard and never are allowed the chance to go where they want to go. And I've worked hard and now I'm here. And so I have to remind myself that this is the path that I want. And man, does it suck sometimes. I want to believe that things will get better. Um, if I remain positive, if I just keep being me, if I keep, being the person that I want to be, that things will eventually turn up in some way. And right now, that's really all I can do. JLPT is coming up uh, this next July, about a month. Hopefully, I pass N1. That will help secure a lot of job opportunities in the future. I've taken it already, but I failed by like 3 points, 2 points, or something. So it's been a year since I've taken it, and hopefully, I've studied enough where I can make up those 3 points somehow. And I guess that's where I'm going to go from here. Oh, man. If you're out there listening to me cry over the internet and whine and bitch, thanks. I hope that if things are going not so great for you, that they get better. We're all just trying our best, and that's all we can do. Jeez.